Hey, and welcome back. In this video, we're gonna go over the 5 different levels of business development to get clients for your agency, or whether you're doing this part-time as a solo recruiter or a freelancer, doesn't matter, it's for everybody. So excited to share more value with you all. So real quick about me, in case you're wondering and you're watching this for the first time, welcome, my name is Preston, been a professional recruiter for almost about a decade. I started my career at a nationwide US staffing agency, became quickly a top producer in my single year, doing over $500,000 on my own desk, even surpassing $100,000 in one single month. And then in 2015, I decided to kind of start my own agency, generating $500,000 again in one single year. And over the past years, for almost about a decade, was able to now do multiple 7 figures worth of placements, and now focus on scaling my agency, and blessed to have worked and continue to work with some of the most well-known brands in the US. Step 1 is to kind of really do it yourself. You have to really learn how to do everything manually, establish good fundamentals, and being able to just put in the reps. So for step 1, your budget should really be non-existent or negative like mine, or very minimal, right? Here, it's really important for you to learn every single step from A to Z on what you need to do to go out there and research, to identify the right decision makers, to identify the right companies, to outreach, to follow-ups, rinse and repeat, right? So this is where it's very important for you to have a strong A to Z fundamentals or grasp of that. And if you don't have that, that's your number 1 priority. So when it comes to research, what are some things that you have to do? Well, you have to research the right companies. You have to research the right hiring managers. You have to be able to research the right jobs, right? In your specific market or industry or sector. Then you got to understand, like, how do you personalize it? How do you outreach to the right person, to the right company, but also in a way that makes it sound human, to make it sound that you're giving value, that you're personalizing it to whoever you're reaching out to. This is where it's really important for you to really understand all the different ways to identify the right people, the right sector, the right jobs, the right companies, so that you can go out there and really give them value, to kind of introduce them on who you are and why you're reaching out to them in the first place. And personalizing, right? It's really important here where you just don't jump to ChatGPT, or you don't just copy and paste from other people. You got to do the research yourself and make it sound human. Any icebreakers you can throw in there, any comments on recent posts or activities on blog posts or things like that, these are perfect things to kind of add in there, in addition to any recent news in the company or their current employer. How are you going to actually send the messaging or emails or cold calls out? And then most importantly, how are you going to keep track and stay organized?
Are you struggling with getting responses from clients? Are you an established recruiter who is struggling to break 6 figures and beyond? Are you looking to start recruiting part-time and you don't know how? Do you feel burned out and stuck spending hours and hours each day in manual tasks like sourcing and outreaching, and feeling like you have no time to actually run and grow your business? I am absolutely happy to announce that we have launched our own recruitment, educational, and coaching program to help you on your journey. We made sure that everything I've learned in the past 10 years, the tips, the strategies that really helped me build multiple 7 figures of placements on my own desk with some of the best companies in the world, will be included in there. We'll also be including things like how you can build an acquisition system that brings in clients every month to your agency hands-free, how you can maximize the probability of a positive close during negotiations, how you can automate and outsource your day-to-day operations so that you don't have to spend hours per day researching or sourcing, how you can figure out the new and modern way to scale your agency that minimizes risk and maximize your upside potential. And we've also included much more. The best thing about this is not only will you be getting amazing content, but we will also handhold you and be with you every step of the way to make sure that you are held accountable and you crush your goals. We'll also share with you our own tech stack, tools and plugins that we actually use, plus everything else we know about automation and AI to help you save time, work smarter, and not be a slave to your business. The exciting news is that we've actually rolled this out to a select few people earlier this year, and I'm excited to see them well on the way to multiple 6 figures, with some breaking $30,000 to $50,000 per month already. So if you're interested to be a successful recruiter that can dominate in any market conditions, make sure you click on the link below to chat with another member of our team, and we're happy to chat with you to see if we can help you out. Make sure you jump on this really quickly. See you on the other side.
Anything you want to toss in there to make your message sounds different, but to be personable and human at the same time, instead of just coming off super robotic, is the key here. And then once you do that, you have to really understand, how do you actually do the outreach? How are you going to actually send the messaging or emails or cold calls out? And then most importantly, how are you going to keep track and stay organized? So in step one, again, your budget is non-existent, or you got to be minimal as much as possible. So I remember in my first days where I had to borrow my fiance's credit card, I tracked everything on Google Sheets, Google Excel, and just did my best to just, no matter how inefficient it was, to stay on top of it. And it's possible for you to kind of keep track of your emails, your follow-ups, the results, the next steps, the next action, rinse and repeat, and still be able to kind of build a book of business from that alone. Whether it's emails or messaging or cold calling, it's all really the same thing. You have to really track like when you've done it, who did you talk to, what were the results, what are the follow-up actions, what are your next actions when it comes to the follow-ups, rinse and repeat with every single touch point. And then follow up, right? We all know that money is made in the follow-ups. Don't just follow up once or twice. You got to follow up more than that, at least 3 to 6 times over a couple weeks or a month or two, right? You really want to do your best to stay top of mind, but also make sure that each follow-up is just not generic, not robotic. It's personable, it's human, and you're there to constantly show them that you can give value, right? And it's just as important here to stay organized, to stay key, to keep track of it, whether it's utilizing like the free kind of Google resources out there, or you're actually doing it on pen and paper. Whatever is your comfort zone, do that. No need to overcomplicate things, because we're all about here staying lean and not being able to do the most with the least amount of things possible. And then most importantly, make sure that no stones are left unturned. So you want to track everything, track all your actions, track all your follow-ups. But step number one, again, it's all about doing things manual. And I still think this is a really important exercise to go through, even if you have more money, because for you to be able to make things better, you have to learn how to do things in the first place. So if you can learn A to Z, then you'll be like, okay, cool, these are the different steps. Now I can really focus on time sinks, optimizing, and being able to be more efficient. When it comes to step number 2, then this is what we call embracing tools, embracing automation, right? Here's where you should have at least a couple $100s to maybe several hundred US per month to be able to spend just for outreach, for getting clients. Here, I think it's very, very important for you to be able to kind of embrace some automation tools, AI, maybe start thinking about like systems or plugins that can help you just free up more time, right? That's what automation, that's what technology is there for, is to help us do things better and to be more faster and to be more efficient. So when it comes to research, whether it's like finding the companies or hiring managers, how can we use automation or tools, technologies to make that process faster? Can we integrate things using Zapier? Can we utilize a one-off automation tool, or maybe combine two to make a fantastic workflow so that you can save minutes or hours compounded over days, weeks, and months, right? That could be huge for you. When it comes to personalizing, maybe you can help kind of leverage AI to help craft the narrative to 85%, and then the last 5-10%, you just go out there and just fix it, modify it, make it more human, and then you're also saving minutes to hours, right? What about outreach and follow-ups? Are you utilizing outreach tools to streamline campaigns, to create different touch points at different time cadences, where you can also follow up systematically without having you to do everything manually? So I think here, from step 1 to step 2 is significant when it comes to the time you'll be able to save. Instead of doing things manually, you no longer have to like track things on paper. You no longer have to manually input things on Excel. Emailing or message automation softwares are there to do everything for you, to follow up automatically whether or not you actually are in front of your computer clicking send or respond, right? And this is where you can really start leveraging technology to be able to do things faster, but do things more at scale, and making sure that, you know, if you have to go out one evening or you have to go out on the weekends or a vacation happens, your messaging can still be consistent and can still be firing when you're not working. And that is just perfect. That will be perfect. And it's only for a marginal increase in budget. We're not talking thousands of dollars at this point per month. It's just a couple $100. And I think if you don't have that much more to spend, if you can do your best to get to step number 2, that will be so helpful when it comes to your client acquisition and business development efforts. Now, for step number 3, you know how to do everything manually, you know how to embrace automation, and then now it's like, okay, how do I also further truly achieve freedom and save more time? And the only way to do that is by hiring your first person. So your budget here should be several $100s to maybe a couple $1,000s per month. We're talking just US, just to make an example. Hiring your first hire can help you save a ton of time and help you truly become a CEO and achieve freedom. Now, when it comes to hiring, what do you mean by that? Are you hiring a VA, someone freelancing, someone full-time, someone fully remote, someone in the office? That's really up to you. Or here are some ways that you can think about it. So when it comes to helping with research, messaging, emails, or maybe a combination, can you have a hire recruiter take ownership of one or two things, or maybe a function, right? So maybe you want someone to take ownership of the research section, the personalizing section, or maybe the outreach section. I think the best thing to do here is when you're looking for someone, look for someone that's a VA or freelance, where they don't have to do everything for you, but you can really have them focus on like one siloed task that can, again, free up a lot of time, right? If you don't have the budget to hire someone like full time to take on a lot more ownership and tasks with you. Perhaps, another way to think about it is, how are you paying them? Are you paying them by a flat fee or hourly? I typically like to pay things based on clear milestones per month, or even hourly, because we do have people working for us full time on a full-time basis. But if you're looking and all you have is a budget for part-time, try to think like, where in the spectrum of client acquisition are you spending the most amount of time, and where can if you're gonna put in someone full-time or part-time, where can they really have the most impact with the needle, right? So that you can then use that extra time and focus on other things, which should be finding candidates, closing clients, closing deals, making money. Here, you have found success, right? Doing things yourself. You're able to bring in clients yourself. You understand a good grasp of A to Z, and hiring someone will honestly will just add another force to amplify your business development efforts. And now you're really building a business where even if you're able to not work in the morning, or you take the day off, your hire will still be at it, doing whatever they're in charge or ownership over, doing a great job, so that your client acquisition efforts happens, right? So step number 1, do it yourself. Step number 2, do it yourself but better. And step number 3, now you think about bringing on another person strategically, whether it's a full domain kind of ownership or like one-off siloed tasks here and there. That's really up to you. I think you can really go both ways, and also really depends on your budget and what you actually really need help with. But combining a hire and hiring strategically the right way, plus the systems, plus automations, that's the best way for you to be able to achieve freedom and get one step closer to working a business. Let's go to now step number 4. Step number 4 is what we call focusing on systems, creating what we call an acquisition or your autopilot acquisition system. So your budget here should be between several hundreds of dollars to realistically couple to several thousands of dollars per month. Here, you want to have multiple people on your team, on your payroll, to outsource as many or all of the tasks of client acquisition for your business and agency as much as possible. You have also ramped them up on the best tools, the AI, automation workflows, and make sure that they really practice active monitoring, performance, making daily and pivoting daily decisions to help make sure that you hit your KPIs and you get closer to your goal, which is leads and converted clients. You want to now start thinking about leveraging a more complex infrastructure with multiple channels, multiple domains or inbox, and focus on volume and scale after you really dial in the quality and the narration part. But the most important thing is, again, implementing a dashboard, monitoring analytics to make decisions to convert in any market condition, but where it actually becomes a system and it runs with or without you, right? So this is where you truly remove yourself from the system or from the agency of doing things hands-on. You create a system that is a optimized workflow of the best tools, the best automation, the best hires, so that your acquisition engine goes out there, is effective at creating responses, creating conversations, bringing in leads, so that you can now focus almost all of your time on closing clients and fulfillment, right? This is the hardest time or the hardest phase because it just takes a lot of time and money and a lot of testing for you to get to that point where it's completely running almost on autopilot. But if you get to this point, you've basically made it. Life is fantastic, right? So you can really focus on specific job titles, certain types of jobs within a sector, within an industry. You have daily, weekly meetings with your team. You study the data, you study the leads, you study the clicks, you study the responses, you study what's working, what's not working, and you can make decisions accordingly. And your leads will be coming into your inbox automatically so that you can jump on them and close the clients and further propel the book of business for your agency forward. Step 1, do it yourself. Step 2, do things better. Step 3, do things with other people's help. And now step 4, putting it together to actually systematize everything and make sure it runs on autopilot. Now, if you made this step 4, honestly, you've made it. You know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly how many clients you want to convert, and your system is producing consistently every single school year. I think when it comes to client acquisition in 2024, 2025, moving onward, you really have to make sure everything is perfect, because if everything's not perfect, you are not going to get responses. Everything from the research to personalizing to follow-ups to subject lines to what you say in the emails needs to be spot on. And if that isn't working out for you and you're frustrated not getting responses, then something has to change significantly. But you said, hey, there's 5 steps. This is step 4. I guess so. What is step 5 at the end of the day? So step 5 is something I'm really excited about. So if you don't have the time to test, to hire, to really trial and error things, and you kind of want things to hit the ground running so that you can make money now, step 5 is simply you can just install an autopilot system, right? So creating the right infrastructure to execute business development at scale, to give you consistent leads in any market sector, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of money, and a lot of testing. What if you simply just don't have time, you really can't be bothered, or you just really want to see results faster? That's how with us, through the Recruiter School, we have created a process I'm really proud about, where we go out there, we find the sales professionals, we train them on the right tools, the right infrastructure, the right methods, and then we embed them into your agency, and then they will take ownership of your KPIs, your goals, and they will just run with it. So whether you want to do your business development and add this as an additional fuel, whether you want this to be your sole decision, your business development kind of employee taking ownership of everything, maybe you're already getting leads, you want more leads, maybe you're not getting any leads and you want leads, this is the perfect thing for you. And you don't have to waste time and waste money going out there, posting ads, using these platforms to find people, training them, quitting, firing, hiring again, interviewing, recruiting. All that takes a lot of time. Why do that when you can just get a sales professional from someone that you trust, someone that's verified? We ramp them up, they're qualified, they communicate very, very well, they know exactly how to execute, and then you can just put them in your agency, they do all the work for you. Now, if you're like, hey Preston, what if I already have someone on my team and they're just not, their output isn't maximized? Well, we can also train your person as well, teach them everything so that they can then create the autopilot acquisition system for you so that it can run by itself. The whole idea here is that after they're embedded, they will be monitored by us. If they don't perform really well, we will simply just swap them out and give you someone else. But we will use business intelligence, dashboards, analytics to track everything. The acquisition specialist will be your employee. So even if you're a solo recruiter, this is the perfect time for you to now level up to be a business owner. You have your first employee, an affordable one at that, much cheaper than hiring anyone stateside or in Europe on a full-time salary. It'll be a lot more affordable. They still have amazing quality communication skills and be able to execute what you want them to execute. And then they're on your team. You have an employee, you meet with them every single week, every single day. Together, you guys work hard to kind of achieve collective goals. And then the best part about this is, if done right, the goal is to put someone in your agency, they take ownership of everything, and then all you have to do is go out there and just close the leads as they come in. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. If you don't want to, you just wait for leads to come in, you jump on them, set them up time on the calendar, do a good intake call, do a good kickoff call, go over your, placement terms, your contract terms, pitch yourself, close that client, and now you can run and hit the ground running when it comes to finding candidates for the roles. And so this is the best way for people to get more consistent clients. With more consistent clients, you get consistent revenue. With consistent revenue, it just helps you to be able to forecast and operate and plan your life and business a lot easier. If you've been doing business development for a long time and you're struggling, you're frustrated, definitely click down below and just have a chat with us to see how we can help you. There are 5 steps, and each step is not for everyone, but there is something for everyone. So whether you're constrained on a budget, or whether you have different goals, whether you're frustrated or you have clients you want more faster, then you have to determine what step are you on right now, what step do you want to achieve, and what is your goal, and how fast you want to achieve your goal. And so with us, we're always obsessed about achieving results and success for our students. We will do whatever we can to constantly think top of mind of how can we help people do business development better so they can get results and their own clients faster. And I think step 5 is an absolute game changer, where we have built a system that works for us, for our agency. Now we want to be able to roll it out for the Recruiter School students. But even if you haven't reached step 5 or you don't want step 5, it's very important for you to understand where are you, step 1, step 2, and you want to be like, okay, my goal is to maybe reach step 2 or step 3, step 4, and slowly work your way up. So I really hope that all these different steps make it super clear for you. Business development is something that you have to take seriously now. It is no longer 3-5 years ago where it's so easy to get clients with a half-assed email. You have to do everything perfectly, from messaging to emails, cold calling. Every single step needs to be dialed in. If not, you will continue to feel like you're going around and around circles, banging your head against the wall, and no one wants to do that. It's 2025. It's a brand new year. This is your year to make things cranking. It's your year to go out there and get your own clients. And now let's work together and just let's make it happen. And the best way to put yourself for a position of success with recruitment is understanding how to bring in clients consistently, so you never depend on just one client. If you can continue to bring in clients consistently, it puts you in a position of power. If one client ends up becoming horrible or slow, you have so many more to work on. You can now make bigger decisions like hiring and scaling and 10xing your revenue. And I can't wait to see all the other success stories that you'll do throughout this year. So 2025 is a new year, new market. I believe that the hiring spree is going to come. There should be hopefully a big spike. If not, our system still works regardless of any market condition, because even if things are slow, companies are still out there hiring. You just need to know how to engage and find them and respond to them the right way. So hope that this video helps. If you want to see more business development videos, comment down below. But otherwise, thank you so much again for your time. I'll see you on the next one.